Yep, we're turning Sigewinne into a freeze DPS. Now, I know that sounds pretty crazy considering that Sigewinne is only relegated to being a support and not a very valued one at that. But trust me when I say this, she does actually have some DPS potential baked into her kit, even if it is very limited. Lucky for us, we can take advantage of this potential with Genshin Impact's most broken support characters. I'm looking at you, Escoffier. Anyway, today in Off Meta, join me as we reinvent Sigewinne into the most busted 5-star Hydro DPS character in the game. I'll be showcasing Sigewinne's build and her new freeze team, while also comparing it to her previous DPS team, which focused on Vape. I'll also be showcasing how the freeze team performs against the Spiral Abyss. But before we get into any of that, let's try to improve my current Sigewinne build by just doing a little bit of artifact strongboxing. Alright, let's go ahead and start by doing some strongboxing. We're going to be doing some emblem today. Let me find the strongbox here. We're going to be doing some emblem because that is the artifact set that we're going to be running on Sigewinne. I'll go into that more in a little bit, obviously when I showcase her build. But you know what, let's just go ahead and start throwing pieces in. I'll let you know if I get anything good. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, I'll take that one. Oh, another banger here, actually. Okay. No. Okay, why is the EM1 so good? That's actually frustrating. Oh my god, again! What's with the air timepieces? Oh my god, if this rolls crit weight, it could actually be good. Copium. Alright, let's try to roll this piece now. See if we can get anything good on it. Or is it gonna die? Yep, it's already dead. Great. Well, that strongbox did not go well. I'm pretty screwed, so I guess we're just gonna have to showcase the build as is. Alright, after that little disaster of a artifact strongbox session, let's just go ahead and review my Sigewinne build now. So she is going to be rocking Aqua Simulacra at R1. This is a pretty good weapon if you're trying to turn Sigewinne into a DPS because it has that nice crit damage stat and low base attack. And again, you really want this because Sigewinne does not scale off of attack, so this is just irrelevant. And also on this weapon, there is an HP substat as well. And you also, get more damage when you're closer to opponents as well. So overall, I think this is the best weapon you can use for DPS Sigewinne. I don't think her signature is actually better for her DPSing, but honestly, I haven't tried it since I, obviously don't have her signature. Don't have a lot of 5-star bows either, to be honest, but you know what? That's a problem I'll deal with another day. And as for artifacts, as I'm sure you already know by earlier, we will be running Emblem of Severed Fate on Sigewinne. Let's go over some of the stats here. Decent stats, 19 crit damage, 10 crit rate, a little bit HP on there as well. Unfortunate defense, but you know what, that's okay. And for this one, it's not that great. It's not that great, but it has high crit rate, which I guess is something we really need. So it's a little bit sad, but you know what, we have to do what we have to do to get the crit rate up. I'll showcase the crit ratio in a second. We also have this HP Sands, again, decent, just good crit stats on there. Hydro damage bonus goblet, could have crit rate, but unfortunately doesn't, because my hydro damage bonus goblets on Emblem are not that great. So we just have to deal with that as well. But again, 17.9% current damage and some HP. So you know what? It's not the worst. Attack stats go to waste, but I'm not going to cry over it. Not going to cry. And finally, probably the best piece in this set is my crit rate circlet with 25.6% crit damage and 14.6% HP. Honestly, this is probably the best piece I have for Sigewinne right now. It just saves the set. It just saves the build, actually. It just saves my build. Moving on to Constellation, Sigewinne is going to be C0, of course, so no Constellations. Not that a lot of them are really going to help. The only one that would really help is their C6, but, not going to really, go for that. That's a lot of money for C6. I don't know how many people have C6 Sigewinne, but you know what? I'm not one of them. Not going to be one of them anytime soon, that's for sure. Finally, we have her talents, which are at 2, 9, and 10. And I have indeed put a crown on Sigewinne's burst. This is, of course, to try and maximize her burst damage as much as possible. People don't put crowns on Sigewinne's burst, man. I'm one of the few people who's done it, and honestly, I don't really regret it. It's really fun to play this team and all the DPS teams with her I'm going to be showcasing today. So yeah, I don't regret this. I did it for you, Sigewinne girl. I did it for you. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up my Sigewinne build here. We'll go over the crit ratio now. 70.7% over 219.8% crit damage. Overall, a pretty solid crit ratio. I tried my best to get that crit rate up as much as possible. But when we go over the team, we'll be getting a little bit more. I'll talk about that later. She's also going to be having a little bit of energy recharge here, 125%, which is not bad. And her HP is also going to be 39,000, which is pretty good. Not as high as I usually get it, because again, I did switch around some artifacts. You know, I wanted to achieve at least a 70% crit rate. I felt like this was necessary just to have some more consistency with the build. But yeah, overall, I think this team is pretty solid. The Freeze team, and we're going to be comparing that to our Vape team as well, so look forward to that. One last thing we need to talk about here is the Elemental Resonance. A few people said I should point this out in my last video, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. But when an opponent is affected by Cryo, their crit rate is increased by 50%. Yep. I think that's pretty simple. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the team and all the Elemental Resonance and everything. I think I've covered everything. I hope so. Anyway, let's go ahead and start now by showcasing what damage we can see out of DPS Sigewinne. Alright, I'm going to start off here by doing an initial damage test with Masanori here, so let's go ahead and get him booted up here. Perfect. And to start this test, simply, I am literally just going to burst with Sigewinne and see how much damage she hits without any buffs or anything like that. So here we go. Burst with Sigewinne. How much are we seeing? 23k. You know what? That's actually not too bad for having pretty much no buffs at all. Okay, let me get my energy up, and then we're going to test it with Escoffier's buff on Masanori. Alright, now let's go ahead and see how much we can do with Escoffier's buff here. So we're going to go ahead and tap her skill, and then burst again. Masanori's frozen, which is hilarious. 31k, so that already boosted the damage by quite a bit by just having that condition met with having all Hydro and Cryos in your team, because that's what we need to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the more official test now. Let's start fighting some big boy bosses and seeing what kind of damage we can see out of DPS Sigewinne in her Freeze team. Also, if you're enjoying these videos so far, make sure you subscribe. Lets me know you want to see more off-meta videos like this in the future. Plus, I really appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and start attacking the Aeon Blight here. Just trying to set up all of our skills and burst here. Get Seat Lolly active as well. Then we're going to burst, or bump with Sigewinne. Then we're going to burst. Here we go, 51Ks. That is pretty damn good. And we can throw in some charge attacks in there, and he's dead. Pretty damn easily, in my opinion, and we're honestly ready for the next rotation. That's what's really nice about this team, is that the rotations are really fast. So like Freena's already ready to go again, so is Escoffier and Silali. So even if he did not die there with all our sub DPS, Sigewinne would still come in here and just, you know, burst him down again. That's what I really like about this team. It's really fast. But now let's go ahead and compare it to the Vape team, which we're going to be seeing. Is it better than the Freeze team, or is it not? I don't know. Let's go ahead and compare it now. Alright, we have both teams going out here. Try to start them at around the same time. I'm currently doing the rotation for the Vape team right now. It's pretty simple. I do have a video showcased on that already. If you want to check that out, you can. But both teams are doing very similar damage right now, with the Vape team actually ahead a little bit here. And they both actually take down the Aeon Blight Drake at similar times. So you know what? The Vape team is actually very competitive so far. I'm honestly interested to see if this continues into the future bosses we're going to fight. But let's go ahead and check that out right now. Alright, Yumkasor King, let's go ahead and try to take you down here. Start by skilling and bursting with Freena, of course, and doing the same thing with Seat Lolly. Then we're going to move, not Seat Lolly, Escoffier. Now we're on Seat Lolly. Okay, then we're going to hit our skill, and then we're going to burst with Sigewinne here. How much are we seeing? 58Ks! Oh, that's kind of crazy. 58Ks right there, and we can go ahead and start to move into our next rotation here. Go like this, and go like this. Let's see if Sigewinne's also up here. Almost. We can just scale, but it's already dead. I mean, we would have skilled and bursted with Sigewinne there. We did scale, but we couldn't burst because he's dead. Again, the sub DPS in this team really helps make up for Sigewinne's, you know, not consistent damage, right? Again, this whole team is about trying to play Sigewinne on field. It's not about Sigewinne necessarily doing the most damage in this team, but everyone's running for Vonius. And Escoffier is kind of just busted in her own right. I mean, that's just how it is. But anyway, I don't know how this is performing against the Vape team, but I'm honestly really curious. I'm sure Future Typom is discussing that right now with himself. Alright, back to the comparisons. Both teams going out again. Kazuha, of course, swirling all that Hydra damage, and Xiangling coming back out here for some more sub DPS. And of course, swirling that Pyro so we can try to get some vapes here. And Sigewinne's coming out again and doing some decent damage. 49 Ks, which is pretty damn good in my opinion. The Freeze team is hitting a little bit more, but you know what? It's still doing decent damage, alright? It's still doing pretty decent damage. And unfortunately for the Vate team, it seems that the Freeze team has indeed cleared the Yumkamsor King Boss thing a little bit faster, but honestly not too far behind. Unfortunately, Sigewinne couldn't get her burst out again and actually got an achievement there. Overall, though, both teams still performing very similarly, but the Freeze team here is getting a little bit of an edge, and I'm honestly curious to see if that's going to hold up when we fight Arlecchino next. Alright, it's time to take on Arlecchino. The world boss is always the very scariest part about these showcases, but you know what? I believe in DPS Sigewinne. I think she can do it. Let's go ahead and start skilling and bursting with everyone here, including Lolly. Oh god, I'm gonna try to burst through that. Then we're gonna skill with Sigewinne and burst with her as well. What are we seeing? 43 Ks here consistently? Okay, that's not bad at all. We actually got her down to pretty low health here. Let's go ahead and get our energy up with everybody. Try to prepare for the next phase. I'm a little bit scared about this though. Ooh! She can't hit me. I've fought this boss solo with Fremine before, so honestly, this is light work, no reaction. We can go ahead and just ping her down here until she hits the second phase here. Perfect. Here we go. Almost there. Are you there yet? There we go. Perfect. Alright. Now, we go in with Furina. Okay. Approach me. That's always a little bit scary, but you know what? It's okay. I handled it. I handled it. Perfect. Okay, then Lolly. Skill and burst. And then we're going to go with Sigewinne. Get a little bit more healing in there. And then burst. What are we seeing? Where are my crits? 53k. Okay, I did not crit a lot there. You know what? I blame my team for that. Oh my god, no, the laser. Okay, getting everybody's bursts up here. See if we can get Sigewinne off one last time. I highly doubt it though. Sigewinne, you wanna come out here? Charge attack? Nope, that's okay. Great job, Sigewinne. Sigewinne got 2 bursts off. That's great. That's really great. Anyway, let's move on to the last comparison and see which team did better, Vape or this one. I don't know yet. Still don't know. Alright, final showcase here against Arlecchino. Let's go ahead and start here. All the bursts and stuff are coming out. Yet again, always so much happening. Trying to get Arlecchino there in the swirl. Then we burst with Sigewinne, and we're seeing, unfortunately, we did not vape like at all there. That was very, very unfortunate. The damage, guys, was not too great over there, and the Freeze team is indeed going a little bit faster. And I've gone ahead and sped up the footage here, so we're not here forever. But surprise, surprise, guys, as you can tell, the Freeze team is doing way better at dealing with Arlecchino. I mean, look at how long it took for the Vape team to get into second phase. So overall, I do think that the Freeze team is a little bit better here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and test to see how this Freeze team does now against a Spiral Abyss. Alright, so for our Spiral Abyss teams here, we're going to be running a Wicked team on the first half, and then we're also going to be running our DPS Sigewinne team on the second half here. So yeah, that's pretty simple. Abyss multipliers, this obviously applies more to Escoffier than anyone else here, but you know what, that's about it. So we're going to see how this team performs against the Abyss. I'm honestly pretty scared, but you know what, DPS Sigewinne's got this. She's got teammates to carry her to the end, carry her to the finish line. Let's go ahead and see how this ends up working. Alright, it's DPS Sigewinne's time to sign. Let's go ahead and start off by trying to take down this first Abyss Lecter here. Honestly, I kind of hate dealing with this guy, but you know what? That's okay. We have to deal with him anyway. So let's go ahead and do this, and see how much damage we can hit on this guy. How much are we seeing? Apparently nothing. I think it's because he was frozen. Already, you know what? Already just a beautiful, beautiful start from this team. Alright, let's go ahead and continue with the rotation here. Since we're just so energy efficient. I mean, look at this. Okay, perfect. And then we should be prepared to burst off the dragon here. Skill with Sigewinne, and then burst with her as well here. How much are we seeing? 65k because it's stupid Corolla's up. That's okay. I don't think, I don't know how well Sigewinne's going to be, or how good Sigewinne's going to be at breaking this thing. She may be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, but that's okay. We're going to try to work through that burst here again with you and try to pop its Corolla. Use my bow. Yes, Sigewinne, use that bow. Oh, it actually fell. Yes, it worked. Haha. What are we seeing? 58k! Yeah. Yes, this is what we want to see, guys. 58k, and we'll burst here just to try to get our energy up with everybody a little bit here. But yeah, that worked pretty well, in my opinion. You see Lolly, more particles. Okay, that was pretty good. I mean, you know what? She's a little bit useless in the first half, not gonna lie. But the 58ks against this freaking stupid seahorse was actually pretty good. Okay, not bad so far. Not bad. I believe we cleared that pretty fast as well. So that is also something to be proud about. Good job, DPS Sigewinne and her very overpowered teammates. Oh, no. All right, time for the second chamber here. Let me collect some of that energy. Always need more of that. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can do it. Let's start with Farina here. Try to get our energy up here. Perfection. All right, this team should be pretty good against smaller enemies instead of bosses. So we're going to see what this team can accomplish here. And burst time. Where's the enemies? Oh, we're killing this guy. 56k on him. Not bad. That was pretty good. We can go to the next rotation now as well, because honestly, we're just ready to do that. That's what's nice about this team. Keep it pretty consistent, honestly. Keep it pretty consistent. That guy's also almost dead. And now this annoying guy's here. Let's try to burst before it takes my energy away. What are we seeing? 54ks? Bursting it down. 62ks right there with Sigewinne. Oh, that is incredible. Oh, you love to see it. Okay, get my energy up here. Oh my god, we killed it so fast, actually. We're killing everything so fast. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, 62ks from Sigewinne. Not bad about him. Not mad at all. As the burst DPS she is, that's what Sigewinne is. She's doing a pretty damn good job, honestly. I'm pretty happy with how this team is performing so far. Chris being carried by Farina and Silali, but that's okay. And Escoffier. Don't forget about her. Alright, time for the final chamber here now for DPS Sigewinne. What can we see? We got to get our burst up a little bit here with Farina if we want to actually do this chamber. Try to get some energy. That's what's nice about this team. We got just absurd amounts of energy recharge going on due to all the Favonius weapons. And honestly, it's so nice to have that. Like, I can't even imagine if I didn't. It would be so bad. Okay, what are we seeing? 53ks, and look at how well it just deals with those guys. That was a pretty good example of DPS Sigewinne there. Just dealing with those small little minions, and they're no more. They are no more. Okay, we're going to continue this rotation on here. Perfect. And look, this guy can't move. He literally can't move because he's just stuck. And then we come in with Sigewinne and stick him with the needle. And I mean, come on. That's awesome. And then we just burst again. And then we keep going. This final chamber here is the antithesis of what we want to do with DPS Sigewinne. Consistent rotations, keeping the enemy frozen, and bursting again with DPS Sigewinne. 46ks, not bad at all. Keeping him frozen, and he's done. Look at this. I'm going to burst with Farina. And a perfect ending to that show. There we go. Oh, that was a perfect final chamber, honestly. That was the perfect example of what this team should do. Consistent rotations, consistent freezing, then you come in with Sigewinne and stick that needle in somewhere. I'm not going to say, guys. I'm not going to say. After reviewing everything I've showcased today, it's obvious to me that if you wanted to play Sigewinne as a DPS, the best route to go down, in my opinion, is her new freeze team by a decently small margin. I just think that in more realistic battle situations like the Spiral Abyss, the team holds up better in regards to energy management and rotation timing. The Vate team I showcased today and previously still did perform decent and at times did provide bigger numbers for that serotonin boost. I guess at the end of the day, if you really want to play DPS Sigewinne, it really comes down to what characters you own and how much investment you'd like to put into your teams.